Hi everyone, this is your math guru. In this video, I'm going to show you how to divide polynomials using the synthetic division method. Please don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button below for more easy to understand math concept. In the first example, we have 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 divided by x plus 2. Note that we are dividing by a factor of x plus 2. So in order to divide using synthetic division, we must turn that factor into a zero form by setting it equal to 0. So what I mean is, I'm going to have x plus 2, which is the factor, equals to 0, making x subject to formula. We have x equals negative 2. So using a table for dividing, I'm going to draw my box. Note that the factor, that's negative 2, I'm going to write that here. And then on the same line, I'm going to write out all the coefficients of my polynomials. Coefficients and the numbers before the variables, including the constant term. So we have 3, 7, and plus 2. So I'm going to write that on the same line. I have 3, 7, and plus 2. So in order to divide, I'm going to start by dropping down my 3. That's the first coefficient of x squared. That's 3 down here. Then I multiply my negative 2 by 3. If I multiply my negative 2 by 3, I have negative 6. I'm going to write it under the next coefficient. So I have that as negative 6. So I'm going to repeat this process for each of the terms. The next step is to add in order to get the value for the next column. So I have 7 plus negative 6, and that will give us positive 1. Then I go back to the beginning. I multiply again negative 2 by 1. That will give me negative 2, and I'm going to write it under the next column. So I have this as negative 2. The next step is to add my column. So I have 2 plus negative 2, which will give me a 0. So what this means is I don't have a remainder if I divide 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 by the factor x plus 2. So in order to write my answer, the values here will be my new coefficient. So starting with 3, I'm also going to drop down the power or the exponent by 1. So in summary, our answer is always 1 power smaller than the original. The original power starts from a 2, so that means this will be 3x. I've dropped that power by 1. Then the next coefficient, which is 1, so I'm going to have plus 1. That will be a constant because the next power will be x to the power of 0, and any number or variable raised to the power of 0 is 1. So therefore, 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 will give us 3x plus 1. I'm going to do the same for the second example. In the second example, I have 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 divided by x plus 5. So the first step is to turn the factor into its 0 form by setting it equal to 0. So my factor in this case is x plus 5. I'm going to set that to 0. So I have x plus 5 equals 0. Therefore, the value of x equals to negative 5. Then I draw my table for my division, whereby I'm dividing with my negative 5, that's the factor. And then the next step is to list all the coefficients of my polynomial on the same line. The coefficients are attached to my variables and then including my constant term. So I start with 2, I have positive 7, and the last one, negative 15, that's the constant. Then in order to start dividing, I'll start by dropping down the first coefficient, which is 2, and then I multiply my negative 5 by 2, which will give me negative 10. I write it in the second column under the next coefficient. And if I add that column together, I have 7 plus negative 10. That will give me negative 3, as shown. Then I'm going to repeat the process. I have negative 5 times negative 3. That will give me positive 15. And then I add, if I add negative 15 plus 15, that will give me a 0. And what that means is, if I divide the polynomial 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 by x plus 5, there will not be a remainder. So therefore, to write my final answer, the values I got, that's 2 and negative 3, will be the coefficients of my answer. And then remember to drop down the power by 1. So my answer will be, I start with the first coefficient, 2. Remember, dropping the power by 1, 2 minus 1 is x. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I have 2x minus 3, because my next power, which is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Any variable or exponent raised to the power of 0 is 1. So my answer, after dividing the polynomial, will be 2x minus 3. Thanks for watching. Bye.